Okay folks, here's my computer desk here, or actually my living room. I've had to cut this one end off of the desk to get it to fit in here along the door here. Yes, I'm trying to make a film here. Can I have a little privacy? You don't need all the attention, okay? Okay. But anyway, behind that black cat is the computer I've been using since I moved in here, and of course the keyboard and the mouse and the monitor and external hard drive back there. And here's my other computer over here that when I moved it up here, I heard some rattling inside, and I took it apart. I took off the side, and I found out that the clamp that holds on the heatsink had broken, and the heatsink had fallen off. So this is my project for today. I finally got a new clamp for the heatsink. So today is my project of putting that heatsink back on. And yeah, you can see I've got an air conditioner here. Even though I'm off grid, I've got to use the generator in order to run this air conditioner. But I only need to run it for an hour or two, and it cools it off real nice in here. As a matter of fact, you can see that it's 75 degrees in here, or 52% humidity. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and shut that thing down. Go ahead and shut this off, and go ahead and shut my generator off so you can probably hear me a little better. Okay, now I've already gone through the trouble of taking the side off of this thing and pulling out the heat sink. So let me get this thing laid down on its side and set up the tripod and get this camera mounted on it, and we'll go about getting this thing repaired here. I'll be right back. Okay, now that I got this all set up, what you're seeing right down there, that is the processor. Okay, and that builds up a lot of heat when your computer is on. So it's got to have some way of dissipating the heat, and so they use what they call as a heat sink, which is another surface, this is the whole unit here is what dissipates the heat. Okay, this is all made of all copper, and this surface here goes up against that surface down there, but it's got to have a little bit of this here, what they call thermal paste, put between the two so that it makes a good conductive surface. Okay, and this particular one has got all the fins on it and everything, and it's got a fan on one side that keeps these fins cool. So I've already gone through the obligation of cleaning that surface there and this surface here real good with isopropyl alcohol and cotton swabs. Now you don't want to use paper towels on that, because paper towels have wood in them, and that can scratch these surfaces. And as you can see, this surface on here is probably a number 8 to a number 12 finish for metal, which is pretty much a what they call a mirror finish, pretty close to it. So we take this here tube of thermal grease and we put about a pea-size dollop of it down on that surface, and then we got to spread it out. Now what I've got here is a piece of plastic. Well, you really don't have to spread it out. It'll spread out by itself once you clamp the heatsink onto it. What I've got here is a piece of plastic bag that I wrapped around my finger here, and I'm gonna spread that out all over that surface there. And once I get that done, we'll come back and we'll get the project further going here. Okay, folks, I went ahead and got the thermal grease put down on that surface there and spread out, and now it's just a matter of taking this here heat sink and setting it down in there on that surface and getting the clamp put on there. Now this, I'm going to have my hands in the way here so much that you won't be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm not even going to film this part of it. So we'll come back in a minute. Okay, folks, I got the heatsink mounted in there and all clamped down, and I got the wire for the fan hooked into the motherboard, and the fan on the heatsink is facing back towards this fan back here, which is the exhaust fan out the back. So let me get this thing put back together, and or at least get a cord hooked up to it and plug it in and see if it works right. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I got a power cord hooked up to it now, and we'll hit the power button here, turn this thing on. I got lights flashing, I got lights coming on, and let's see here, turn this. Okay, the exhaust fan is working, the fan on the heatsink is working, so I think we're in business. Now folks, redoing the thermal paste on your heatsink is something that I believe that everybody that owns a computer should know how to take the old take the heatsink off and clean that processor real good, clean the old thermal paste off, and replace it with fresh thermal paste. That's basic maintenance on a computer. That should be I do it probably once a year, you know, during heavy use. It may go a little bit longer, but I've had this computer, I built this computer approximately I want to say about 5.5, 6 years ago that I built this computer, and I built it from the case on down, everything in it, you know, I put everything in it. And the other computer Everything in that computer I bought probably, I want to say 8 years ago, 9 years ago, and it's still running good. So I think everybody should learn how to redo that thermal paste in their own computers. So, alright folks, that's about it. I'm done with my preaching at you. So, we're up and running here. Okay, thanks for watching.